and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh rending cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me. But my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
Is it just me, or is anyone else peckish? Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Done. This is sure to give the others some much-needed energy.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
Sorry for rambling on so much about my past earlier.
Don't sweat it. It was fun hearing you reminisce about the good old days.
Come on, you don't have to pretend with me. I know I can tend to go on sometimes, when it comes to my brother.
You said it, not me. Anyway, I don't think it's something for you to be embarrassed about.
Hey, Alphen. When you were a kid, was there ever a time when you had to bury someone younger than you?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm guessing that you have, though.
Yeah. During the previous crown contest, with the Lord before Dohalim. Life back then was truly hell. I think that's why I tried to ignore what Miguel was telling me for so long. Because I was afraid of going back to such a dark time. Of losing hope. I wanted to believe in our paradise so much that I doubted the one person I should have trusted most. I don't blame Dohalim for that. I simply didn't want to face facts. And I ended up trying to project my ideals onto everyone else.
It's strange. Whenever you and Dohalim talk about Menancia, it's always like it's some big failure. We're talking about fixing 300 years worth of damage here. Isn't it a bit optimistic to think it was all going to be resolved after only 5?
You might be right. Maybe it was a mistake when Menancia... No, when I decided to stop seeing the darkness in our society. I have to admit the truth. To myself, first of all. I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Rise and shine. We're almost ready to leave.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, There are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danins in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danins in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place. Hey, when did I get so popular?
Flaming thrust!
Annihilation!
Fine, freeze! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
In here! By the power of water! Water is the stockpile! Now!
We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Well done!
I'm on frickin' does it!
Let the marksman handle this! In the wind!
Now
Air
let
thrust!
Well then, let's keep moving.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart.
When he slows down, that's our chance!
Reload!
Watch this!
In here!
Hit and down!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Thunder Field! Freeze Blazer! Talon Sword! Whoa! Hey! One at a time!
Take this!
Take this!
Searing
Dazzle!
Talon Hurricane!
Storm!
Now you're talking! All right, you hear it now! Take Bolero!
Radiant Field!
Remote!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
My turn!
By the power of lightning condensed! Thunder Blade! Back into the
Watch
fray!
this!
Here I come!
Lightning Orb! Raging Cascade! Cover the caster!
You're mine!
Rolling snap!
Flaming thrust! Stardust!
First
Thrust!
Talon Sword! Do it! Let's get you...
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dan in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Destruction! Eat this!
No, I won't give in.
It's turn! Come one, come on! Here I go! Flaming thrust!
I can handle it.
We got flyers!
I'm
Demon
stuck.
Fist!
Let a marksman handle it.
You!
Okay, all yours!
Hey, watch this. See that you don't get in trouble again.
Hurricane Stroke!
Mega Ray!
An Astro Arts?
That's my cue.
Here I come! Shut him down!
This one's mine.
Lightning Stroke!
Raging Cascade!
Powered
Watch
Stunner!
Light after lightning condensed! Thunderbolt!
Eat this!
I'll confiscate it!
Whirlwind Snap!
Don't get in my way!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Healing circle!
Okay, here I go!
Hear me! Flameless fury!
Demon Fist!
Glacial spear!
Sword Rain
Here's
Alpha!
evil!
All finished here and now!
Freeze Blink! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
Here I come! Soaring Light Spear!
Here I go! And again!
Anything in order, go on!
Dance in the wind!
Escape!
Art expert coming through!
Come and face me,
ST Airborne scoundrel.
Sounds like a job for yours truly. Do it! Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Radiant Axiom!
Here I come! I'm on a roll now! Stardust!
More time!
Dazzle!
Air
Stardust!
Sight!
Hurry
Now!
up, Sphere!
Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Certainly not bad.
No complaints here. It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then? Go no further! Here! Flame of Fury! In here!
Take this!
Freezing level!
I'm not done! Eternal devastation!
Marksman can handle this!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Radiant Storm! Leave the enemy's arcs to me!
No complaint here! Here I come!
Thank you!
Eternal devastation!
Flame of Fury!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Do it! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet! Eternal devastation! I'm on eternal devastation! Did you hear it now? Now I can let loose.
Did you just heal me?
Yes, we need you, remember?
Right.
Here I go!
Here I come!
One more!
I'm feeling
Get
it! Sword Rain Alpha! I'm on it! Do it! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'm even stronger than before.
Little help!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Here's evil!
Destruction! They got me! Destruction! Destruction! Take this! Crush!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! Lightning Bolt! Raging Cascade! Freeze Lancer! Sleep now!
Eternal devastation!
Never want to die!
Well, someone seems in tip-top form.
Nothing new about that.
And still as humble as ever.
Here I come!
Raging Cascade!
Dazzle! Stardust!
Do it!
Swallow Dance! Remote!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
A comfortable win.
I won't forgive you! Not in your dreams! Where are you going?
I'm on it! Be still!
Here goes!
Armor won't save you!
Lightning can
Glacial Spear!
Here's evil!
Here I come! Stardust!
Lancer!
Shouldn't have messed with me.
Talon Hurricane!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And
The enemy is ours too.
You'll soon see about that!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Now!
I'm surrounded!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that dance.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Lethal Charge!
Glacial
Talon
Spear!
Power!
Here's evil!
Destruction!
Freeze Lancer! Wind Astral Energy!
Talon
Do it!
Hurricane!
Dance in the wind!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! I still got a ways to go.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
But maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
What's this thing?
No backing down!
I'm like bait to them.
Glacial Spear, here's evil!
You're finished!
Take Bolero!
Here's the dance in the wind! Radiant
Watch
here!
this! Start
I'll
up!
be saving this one!
Ready and ready!
Glacial Spear, here's
Lightning
evil!
thrust! Start up!
Freeze Lancer! This one's mine! Dance in the wind!
Will this
It's
help?
over! Start up!
I'll finish you here and now!
You're mine!
Too much to handle?
Why'd you do it?
Stop you dying?
Start up!
I'm on it!
Annihilation!
We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left.
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off!
Air
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all down.
Go no further!
Sword Rain Alpha! Destruction!
Constantine!
Crush! Hurricane! Destruction!
Mega Ray!
Crush!
Gemini
I'll take
Alpha!
you all off!
Raging Storm!
Destruction!
A banana, let's go!
Here I come!
Hear me! Flame
Castle!
of Fury! Burning
Away!
Raging Storm!
Kick
Here's
it!
evil! Freeze
Demon
Lancer!
Fang!
Tempest Whirl!
I'm on a roll now!
You're mine!
Flame of Fury!
Demon Fang!
Burning Strike!
Glacial Spear.
Here's evil!
These little ones are hardly worth our
Here
time.
goes!
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Burning Strike!
Crush!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
You're mine!
I'm
Demon Fang!
Lancer!
Talon Hurricane! Eagle! I'll finish you here and now!
You're mine!
Sion! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Onward and upward.
They're surrounding us!
You're mine!
There! One more!
Lightning thrust!
I'm on it!
Start up!
Confiscated!
Whirlwind
Take this!
Blast! Swallow dance!
Lightning condemned!
Take this!
I'm on it!
Dazzle!
Talon Hurricane!
Start up!
Dance in the wind!
Take
I'll
this!
finish you
Air
here and
thrust!
now!
Ripon! Dance in the wind!
You're mine!
Air thrust!
Be still!
Radiant thrust! I'm all stopped up!
Here I come! It's
Raging
over!
Heavy!
Be still! Remote!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done! Radiant
Take
here!
this! Demon Fang!
Swallow
dance!
Radiant
Sword Rain
here!
Alpha!
I'm out!
I'm on it!
Raging
Talon
Hurricane!
Hurricane!
We're cleaning house.
Let me take the rest of it!
Someone's feeling lively!
Swallow dance!
Here's evil!
Destruction!
Bolero!
Freeze Lancer!
Destruction!
Eat this!
Crush!
Wither Dragon!
Crush!
By the power!
Do it! Remote!
Astral Energy!
Say no more. This could be useful.
It's on!
Here I go!
Demon Fang!
Swallow dance! Thank
Lightning thrust!
More for the stockpile!
Start up!
Go! In here!
You're mine!
Come in handy!
Glacial Spear.
Lightning thrust!
Here's evil!
Roll now!
Freeze
Be
Lancer!
still!
Gemini Alpha!
Here I come!
I'll tear you
Good!
apart!
Burning
You're mine! Dazzle! Start up! Take this!
Here, let me help.
I'm on it!
You're mine! It's over!
Your power is a spectacle to
Lightning
behold.
thrust!
I'm not trying to be dramatic with it.
Still, it's a part
Now!
of you. Embrace it.
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Lightning condemned!
Here I
My
go.
turn! You're mine!
Thunder
Witness
Blast!
Start up!
Here Now! Kisara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
This calls for a celebratory drink.
No choice. Swordblade Alpha!
Crush it! Not in your dreams!
Destruction! Crush!
Deny! Hurricane!
My astral energy!
Eagle
You're mine! Lunar Rondo!
Thunderblade! Not on my watch!
Here I come! Demon Fang! Damn it!
Lightning Orb! Bananas!
Where are you going?
I'm on it!
Who wants to
finish you
dominate?
here and now!
Field!
You're
River
mine!
Dragon!
Let's get
Lightning
you all
Thrust!
swept away!
Stardust! I'm
Death Force! Power
You're mine! Be still!
Now! Flame of Fury!
Let's see what happened there as you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Demon Fang!
Free Blazer!
Dazzle! You're mine! We turned the tables on her.
There are still more left!
Right! No time to hold back! Demon Fang!
You know, Law, watching you really makes me realize.
Makes you realize what?
Maybe thinking too much gets in the way sometimes. I think I'm getting stronger.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
Let's dispose of the trash.
Sword Rain Alpha!
This one's mine! Gale Force! Gemini Aqua!
Destruction! Crush!
Power of water!
Swallow Dance!
Destruction!
Gemini Aqua! Bullseye! Lightning Condemned! Thunderblade!
Here I come!
Enough! Watch this!
Healing Crystal!
Eternal Devastation!
Lightning Raging Cascade!
Eternal Devastation!
Dance in the
Take
wind!
this!
Rip and tear!
No escape! Stardust! No escape!
We are freaking invincible!
Alvin and the others truly are strong.
What about me?
Demon Fang!
Looks like we won.
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
I'm not done!
Thunderblade!
Denied!
Confiscated!
Sword Rain Dance! It's over! Be still!
Ray!
Stardust!
Swallow Dance!
You're mine!
Here
No
I go!
escape!
Mega Ray!
You're mine! Strike! You're finished!
Pierce evil!
River Dragon!
Wind
Not
Astral
done!
Energy! Confiscated!
Take
Lightning Condemned!
this!
Thunderblade!
You're mine!
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me. I never miss! Lightning Condemned!
We're thinning them out. Please?
More like me.
I'll admit I'm impressed. Very slightly.
Do it! More! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky! Little help!
You're mine! I'm not done!
Reload! I'll heal you all!
Leave the charges to me!
Stardust!
Healing circle!
I owe you one! Demon Fang! I owe you one!
Chinese! Back into the fray! Air Blast! Photon
Take
Blast!
this!
Light Astral Energy!
Prepare to be sealed, O fleeting foot. So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complete talking more
Be
doing.
still!
Eat this! Howard Hurricane!
Take this! Lightning Thrust!
Try this on for size!
Radiant Pierce!
Here I come! Dazzle!
I'm hooked up the Gale Force! Searing Flame! Reload!
All finished
Be
here
still!
now!
Lunar
To
Rondo!
the wing!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
I can feel my precision improving. Out of our way!
I'm not done! First strike!
Take this!
Here I come! Demon Fang!
Not in your dreams!
That's freaking good!
I'm not done!
Here's the evil!
Stardust!
Dance in the wind!
Lunar Rondo!
This one's mine! Air thrust!
First strike! Take this!
Dance in the wind!
Dazzle! Burn in hell!
Air thrust!
Rip and tear!
Stardust!
Astral
Take
Energy!
this! Do it! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Dance in the wind!
I'm just
Take
getting
it!
started!
Demon Fang!
One for the stockpile! Mega Ray!
Now!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There's always room for improvement.
Looks like some solid equipment.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Elde Menancia of its enemies and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along, but it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes. I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?